Hello and welcome to a new long-awaited episode of Exipelago behind the scenes. So in this episode, and you may have mentioned or recognized there was a lot of time between the last episode and now because there was a lot of things to do and most of them were behind the scenes, but without a lot of show off. So well, but this time we're showing something pretty serious. So as I promised before, the game will rely heavily on the stuff that you build stuff out of raw materials you gather in the world, and it should be very open in every sense and be expandable and will be fun to do and get stuff to build different things. So, and while this is all pretty complex and involved a lot of changes to the engine in the game, I'm here to show you some of those outcomes up here. So, as you can see on this map, we do have some rendering improvements, which may not be very apparent right now, but yeah, they're there. And you may see that we have some stones in here. So this is one type of stones. It's called sandstone for no particular reason. We have sandstone blocks. So, and we all know we can actually make a stockpile. Let's do a stockpile somewhere here. We can do a stockpile and we can harvest that stones. So let's harvest the stones, get us 2 more agents, and speed the whole thing a little bit up. So now we do have the necessity to actually allow the materials in here, and now they are getting hauled. So the next thing we can do is actually, and you all know this, I know, but it's part of the video and I need to show. So we can have a workshop. And now in the workshop, because we have actually found stone, we can build stuff made out of stone. So for example, stone blocks. Because we do have found stone, we can now make stone blocks. So let's make stone blocks. We can only make them out of sandstone right now. So I'll make 2 of them. And they're actually going to be constructed. Now we have 2 stone blocks, sandstone blocks actually. And now because we have sandstone blocks, we could actually build a block wall made out of sandstone. Just ignore, I will describe this later on. I can just now build a block stone wall made out of sandstone. So you may ask, why do I show you this? It's not very interesting at all. Yes, it isn't. But there are several types of stones you may not be able to see right now because they're deep underground. There is a technically unlimited amount of types of stones, and everyone could actually define their own ones. The game is open for that. So in order to build different stone walls, we're going to cheat our way. So what we see here is currently all available types of blocks we can actually build, and there's several block walls from different materials. So if we go ahead and build, for example, and cheat us one of those, we can cheat us one of marble. Yeah, and there's an issue with the rendering. This is something to be solved later, and you can see every time the corner things doesn't matter. So we do have several types of blocks here, and we can actually now go ahead and just dig them away. So let's go ahead, dig them away, and what we get is actually the base material from what these blocks were made out of. So now we have several kinds of stone blocks, and that's pretty nice. And we can actually do the same one with the cobblestone wall, and the cobblestone actually uses just plain stone. So if we go ahead and give ourselves some walls of this type, and we go to dig those away, we get the base material of those, which is just raw stone. So now we have raw stone, and as you may see, this is the base material. So we have several types of stone, and whatever we do out of this stone, we will get an according piece of material, which is actually based on this thing. So we have like this block. Let's go for the serpentine. The green one is serpentine. Let's make a stone block out of serpentine and build one. So one agent is actually coming, and well, we have made a serpentine block. That's it. And with the block wall, we can now actually go ahead and build a wall. Let's build a wall over there. So they're actually using the blocks. Actually, I'm building those blocks. Here we go. We have now made this block wall out of serpentine, which is a distinct type of rock somewhere found down there. And right now it's just optics, and I will come to this later. So the same concept is actually true for trees. So we have 3 types of trees. We have a palm tree. Let's fell the palm tree, pine tree, and there's a birch. Let's fell those. And we do get the logs. And each log look, of course, differently because they're from different trees. They're not brought into the stockpile. So now we have an availability of wood logs. That means our workshop is not able to produce things out of wood. And that will be the plank, so we can actually build planks. We can now build a plank, a pine plank, and we can build a birch plank, and we can build a palm plank. And each of these planks will basically be a plank, but they will based on the material they were made of. They look different. And if we go further, we can actually just go ahead and build a bed. Let's make this bigger, like the workshop. We can just expand it like here. And we may also expand the stockpile to accommodate more materials. And we can do this, whatever. There's no distinct shape. It doesn't need to be rectangular. We can just fill all the stuff. This is pretty comprehensive. So in the workshop, as we now have discovered basically the planks, we can now build stuff out of the planks. And the workshop is actually going to give us the option to do that. So we can actually build the bed. Let's build a bed. And I decided I want to have a bed made. And we do need 4 planks. So we cannot currently not being able to build the bed because we do not have enough planks. So let's go ahead and build more planks first. And we do have enough logs. So let's build more pine planks, give us more birch planks, and also I want the palm planks. Oh, wrong one. I want the plank, palm. Yeah, here we go. 2 more. And yeah, they're already building those and they're stacking nicely. And now we have plenty of plank. And we cannot just build a bed. Let's build a bed. And I want to have, because I'm very tropical feeling today, I want to have a bed made out of plank wood. So let's select the bed. And the bed says it needs material wood plank, so we go ahead and we use the palm plank. Here we go. Now they're building the bed, and there we go. We have a bed. They made out a bed out of these planks, and as you can see, it looks the same material because it uses the material which was actually used and defined by the tree itself. So whenever I'm actually going to ahead and add a new tree, or everyone is basically able to add a new tree. So if you go ahead, download a tree from the workshop somewhere. You have a new tree, the tree has defined its materials and attributes, and then you just get a new tree, and all the items you have in the game will now be possible to use these new sort of material to get produced out of. So we can now use this bed actually and put the bed over there, so it's out of the way. Here we go, he brings over the bed, put it there, now we have a bed in the open. That's nice. That's a very nice place to live. Look at there. You can just sleep there on a bed without a mattress. That's pretty cool. So, but as I show, you can actually make a bed out of, made a bed out of birch. So let's make a birch bed. Here we go. The guy's coming, building the birch bed. Here we go. It looks not totally different, but it looks different. So let's put it there, and let's build another bed. We can actually now make a bed and we made the pine. Did we make a pine yet? I think we did not. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty dark wood for whatever reason. There we go. There's the pine bed. We can just put this over there as well. Let's put it there. So we have 3 beds made out of different types of wood. And each tree can actually look totally different. This is all defined in the tree editor, how these textures look, and all this stuff is working. So, well, this is all pretty complex. But how is this? If you're interested how this works behind the scenes, that's the video for. So let's look into that. What we have here is actually the material editor, which is currently built directly into the game. And this allows us to actually modify materials, even in real time to some points. So what we have here, for example, is let's go ahead and search the material for stone raw. So this is basically the base stone material for raw stone. And this just defines the texture, basic coloring, but it's not really used in that sense, because what is actually used is that the game defines several stone types, or later on there will be a file which actually defines several stone types, and they say, okay, I'm a raw stone, and this raw stone has several types of subtypes with different colors or even different textures. I could actually use, so if we look there for stone marble, we have the stone raw marble, and that defines just I'm marble, and I can just modify this. If I want to have marble look differently than a Vera stone, I can do it here. And this defines just the base material of stone. So let's go ahead and look at the cobble wall. Let me see if I can find that. There we go, we have the cobble wall, and there is where things get pretty complex. So the cobble wall actually defines I have a texture. Can we actually put a cobble wall up here to actually be able to see this? Let's put the cobble wall, let's put it here. So now we have a cobble wall. There we go, that's the cobble wall texture. And the cobble wall actually defines a base texture to be, yeah, that's cobble wall, looks like this. And then we have a high map, which is used for parallax mapping and also for auto-generating the normal map, but you can totally do this independently as well. And that's new, an alpha map. The alpha map actually says, because over there, on the top of the window, you can see that this block is buildable and it uses material stone raw. And whatever the outcome of the building is, the material is, depends on what type of stone raw was used to construct this material. So this material just says, this is my texture and this is my alpha map. And the alpha map says everything which is white, so total white would mean being total opaque in this texture, and total black means being transparent and using the layer beyond it, which is the base material of the stone. So whatever stone I'm using, this all gets combined, creating that material to have a new material, which this then basically be the cobble stone wall for distinct type of raw stone. So that's how this all works, and this actually works with everything in the game. We can use the same for a plank wall. So we have the plank wall in here, which is just the base texture, and already has again an alpha texture, and that's get overlaid with the actual base texture of the tree. So if you go up here and you go for the tree, there should be some tree texture in there. Log, palm. So then we have the palm log. There's the palm log, and we have a default texture, and there's a different texture as well for the other part, which is currently not working for that reason. But yeah, we have this defined, and there's another texture in this wood which defines the inside of the tree, and the inside of the tree is then used as the plank texture, and all this works the way up. So for example, the plank wall, let's go ahead and see where the plank wall is. Plank wall pine. There we go. We have the plank wall pine. Oh, let's go to the base thing, which should be somewhere, kind of. Let's see where it is. Plank wall. There it is. There's the base for the plank wall, and this defines to have the material wood plank. And the material wood plank actually says, no, I'm a constructible item, and you need to use the texture from the item you was constructed off. And this is all defined in the metadata of the respective item themselves. So, well, it doesn't only sound very complex and difficult, it actually is. But the goal of the game is to make it as easy as possible for everyone to utilize all this stuff. And yeah, as you can see, the possibilities coming out here are pretty great. So what we can actually do now is we can just go ahead and just, let's see, we want to have some sort of pier up here. So we're going to dig away a little bit of the sand. So the agents were already running away somewhere. They're all far away. They're pretty lazy. So here we go. Oh yeah, here we go, some sand now. And the sand actually piles like a pile. And what we can do now is we may want to have a pier, and we may want to use the cobble wall to actually make this happen. So what we can do here is actually go ahead, and this is a little bit different now. I want to have a basement for it like this. Then we have a pier, and let's do and finish the pier off to go over there. And we may want to have the inside being a wood like this. So we do now have our plank, and we can actually go ahead and make this even prettier with giving it like something like this. And yeah, as you can see, I'm going to add, I'm cheating this right now, so it just goes a little bit more rapid, so we do not need. Also, the peeps currently would not be able to put the basement in there because they cannot go underwater, and they would just not be possible. So there need to be some sort to make this happen, like they drop stuff or something. Not sure right now. So we have our pier here, and yeah, that's pretty nice. And we can actually go ahead and we have other things like make an arc. So I want to have an arc up here, and we have several block types as well. So I can just put this right so, and finish this off like this, and then we have an arc in the front of our pier. I mean, isn't that cool? So the possibilities of this is actually pretty great, and I can't wait to actually play it to finish it up in a state where you can actually have fun with that. And yeah, that's how it goes. And of course, in the game itself, you need to care for food, you need to do farming, and this is all shown in prior parts of the game. So we can just put a farm in here. Let's put a farm here. Let's see, we want to have a farm in here. They're now tilling the floor. It's going automatically because we said it's a farm. The floor gets tilled, and then we can actually utilize it. And let's plant some wheat here. So they're going ahead, planting wheat. And the wheat is growing in very rapidly, and they're going to get ripe. Here we go. And now we have field, and this wheat is now going to get harvested, and then we get stuff. Like, we get flour, and we get wheat. Primarily, and then the wheat is actually transformed into flour. The flour is actually transformed and combined with water to make bread in an oven, and the bread is then eaten by the peeps. And there will be several sorts of plants which can be combined, making different recipes. So peeps are happy with what they get to eat, and they need to eat, and they need to sleep, and they need to have fun, and they need to chat maybe. I don't know, they need to fish, they need to produce stuff, they need to trade, and all of that will ultimately result in an experience where you build your very big village on very island you land on. So this is all procedural, it's all random, every game will be a little bit different. You can have all challenge of sorts. Well, you see, we're making progress is there, it's just not as fast as I want to have. So because I have so much ideas to actually finish off, yeah, as you can see. So, well, there is an actual the time point for the release of the early alpha version, and it's actually set to 1st of August this year. I'm not totally sure if this will hold up in a term, because I do not want to go into early alpha without having a game which is actually fun to play. So you can actually just log in, not just to look something at it, but have a little bit to do and just do stuff. And right now all the user interface is very clogged up, and you have to know what to do in order to achieve different things. And there is no tutorial, there's no help, there's nothing. And also the whole game is currently stuck to 4K. So whenever you have a smaller screen, the whole user interface will be much bigger. It should work. Well, but I'm hesitate to actually find the right spot to make a public version, so people can actually try it out without getting frustrated too much. So, well, will the 1st of August stand? I'm not sure yet. Could be. I'll try my best to do it, but don't be too angry with me if it does not hold and need to be delayed a little bit to have a first version available. There's some stuff in there I do want to have at least running. It doesn't need to be a whole game, but it has to be something which is at least a little bit of fun to do. Most of the stuff is actually finished, and it's just a little bit need to polish things up and make this an enjoyable experience to build on and to expand further and actually make cool stuff out of it. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. There wasn't too much new things in there, at least from the outside. From the inside, there's milestones happened in the meanwhile, and hopefully you enjoyed this. And I hope to see you next time with the next episode, hopefully announcing a pre-release date for all of you waiting for getting your hands on an early prototype of that. So, see you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.